A very good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where and when you are watching us from. My name is Mutazi Wasirawanya, Mojiro Baria Karidi, Gwehoka Kumangobo, Jedio Sumaga, Uro, Murizayo, Sai. My name is Washira from Nairobi, Kenya, and it is a wonderful day. Today, we are talking about Africans and tech. And joining me tonight, we have a wonderful lineup of guests who will be joining us and having a discussion both from Kenya and from South Africa. Ali is not yet on the line, but we hope he will join us soon. So we want to thank everybody who's joining us live. Keep on commenting, keep on sending your comments, sharing, subscribing, and all that as we have this wonderful discussion. So I want to begin all the way from South Africa. I can see Ali has joined us. Ali, can you hear me?
Yes, my brother, I can hear you. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Loud and clear. How are you? How is South Africa? How are you doing?
We are doing great, my brother, this side of South Africa, myself and mostly good. It's one of those hot day ever this side, but we're doing great. And I got you ready, one of Africa, I'm Shimano, to Tevenzali and Popotas Kukune. Get a hele Africa, get you Melissa. Get over Nagamo, Kawa, Lebelets, and Zogana, Hopica, Kenya, get you Melissa, one papa, get a Madu, make your way. Thank you so much, buddy.
Asante sana. Here in Kenya, in Kiswahili, we say asante sana, karibuni sana. And Ali, tonight, it is also a special night because the one and only Kevin, the man from the bottle, is joining us to have a discussion. He's always the one saying that, if you don't say the mountains, or you're coming from the mountains of Limpopo, he's calling me and telling me, you have to tell him to say that. So, Ali, because today is a special night, you're going to go again. Say what you say.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, because you're breaking a little bit, you are saying?
I'm saying you reintroduce yourself again to the show.
Okay, my name is Ali, a boy coming from the mountains of Limpopo. Mashimi yana gori tabensa Limpopo, kya wotsa wana papa kya lebu wakiri hele wana Africa. Kya wama like yana mashimi yana from the mountains of Limpopo. Thank you so much, my brother. I know that you want to hear that part where I'm talking about the mountains of Limpopo.
That is wonderful. Ali, thank you for that. However, we want to go directly into the topic of today or tonight. We are going to be talking about Africans and tech. Tech is all over here in the 21st century, the century of technology. And we as Africans, we cannot turn away, we cannot pretend that this is not a topic to be talked about. So basically here in Afrikan Kona today, that is what we are talking about. And before we get into that, I'd like to begin with our guests from South Africa. They introduce themselves, they tell us what they do and who they are, and anything that they might want to share with our show tonight. I want to begin with Moses. Moses.
Gentlemen, Dumelang. There is this famous greeting from one of the young leaders in South Africa. He normally says good morning. It doesn't matter what time is it. He just says commander's morning. So I also want to say good morning because usually we say good morning in the morning. It means you're up and you're awake. So my leaders, good morning. Good morning to all of you. I'm Moses Mapora and I come from South Africa. I think Ali represented us very well. I also come from Sekhukhune. So morning, my leaders.
Okay, moving on swiftly. Neo, the floor is yours. Good. And Neo, please work on your sound. We need to hear you a little bit louder. So you check on that. But as you check on that, Kimani, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Ashira. So, my name is Christopher Mangi Kemani. I'm a finalist student at Kenyatta University. I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. And yeah, I hope to have, I look forward to a fruitful discussion. Yeah, and it's great to meet our friends from South Africa.
From the mountains of Limpopo.
Yeah, one day Ali will have to tell us what that actually means, in public.
Yeah. You know, maybe he might be abusing us and we are busy laughing.
We don't know, we're just laughing here.
Anyway, Kevin Derito, you know, we saved the best for last. I'm not saying you're the best here, but the man from the water. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Kelvin, the man from the water. Though that's just a name that I got from somewhere. Though my real name is Kelvin Derito, and I'm grateful to have this opportunity to be in this great show. Now to be part of the live team, not the man behind the keyboard warrior now commenting, but now I'm part of the show.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for thank you everybody, Moses, Kimani, and Neo, and Kevin for sparing your time and coming and to have this discussion with us. Neo, I don't know if you have worked on your sound, please. I don't know if you can go again, maybe for anybody who might not have heard you.
Oh, okay. It's Leon Guinya from South Africa.
Okay. Wonderful. Ali, we want to get into the questions, and I'm going to go in no particular order, actually. I'm just going to be mentioning names, and you respond to the questions and tell us anything that you think about the question. But before we do that, I can see that some comments have already started coming in. I saw the guy by the name Mr. President. I don't know which president is this, but he says that, good evening, I've just taken my position. Welcome, Mr. President, sir. And then we have Jeff Miner and saying that, I think it's an emoji that has been written in, I don't know what I've gone about it. Anyway, thank you guys for sharing in your comments. Ali, we want to go into the questions now. First of all, guys, we want to first see where we are as a continent and just see your general view and your general understanding on the state of the continent in terms of technology. So in your opinion, what do you think is the state of technology in the continent? Beginning with you, Kimani.
Yeah, thank you, Ashira. I can actually say that the state of the continent in terms of technology is, I can say we are somewhere. We're not there yet, but we are somewhere. If the past can be any consolation, I think that we're in the right direction, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. We saw many countries rushing forward to bring out very creative solutions and innovations to some problems. And if that trajectory is followed, I think that we'll be headed somewhere in the recent future.
Wonderful. Thank you. What about you, Moses? What do you think is the state of the continent in terms of matters technology?
Gentlemen, I think on this one, I'm just going to be the doom agent, guys. I think we are taking a very slow pace, and especially looking at South Africa, I don't know how many African countries have been able to produce a mere thing like a smartphone. In South Africa, we are still unable to produce a decent smartphone, and I think most of our infrastructure, especially in South Africa, is performed by the Chinese. I think our technology is taking a slow pace. I think we can do better if we can look at our educational system. I think that is where the failure is coming from. So I don't think there's really much we can celebrate when we are talking about tech and Africa. So that's just
Moses,
my opinion.
You want to tell us that you don't think there is no innovation or invention that has made sense in Africa?
No, whatever is already there is just copy and paste. You need to come up with a concept which does not already exist. You can't just say we are producing let's just say a certain thing which you copied maybe from let's just say England is already doing it, then we start copying it. We have not produced something genuine as Africa to say which can participate in the market, and we can say this is an iPhone, it's global and it was produced in Nigeria. So we are still lacking in that aspect. Yes.
Thank you. What about you, Kevin? From where you sit, and I don't know if you have the same thoughts as Kimani or Moses, but we are in a time where we are even seeing things like M-pesa, which wasn't there. What do you think is the state of the continent in terms of technology?
In terms of technology as a continent, I think you are really trying to be as par with other continents. And I'll not agree with Moses because you see, trying to innovate something, you innovate something that will just solve the problems in your society. So we can't try to solve problems that are not within our society.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of tech, we are really coming up very well. And I know within the next 5 years, Africa as a continent will be really using technology in every sector.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for your response, Kevin. Ali, allow me to go back to you. I don't know if your network is now okay, but also you as an individual. I know the fact that you are an accountant, but despite that fact, what do you think about the state of the continent in matters technology? Ali?
Okay, let me try to unmute. I hope you can.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I hope I'm audible. From my end, I can say.
I think we have lost you early there, but he will rejoin us. But see if when I don't know if he tries to rejoin us, he'll answer that question. However, guys, I can see some comments coming in. Mr. President, thank you. I'm following closely. Have been passionate about technology, especially in Africa. Thank you, Mr. President. And we have Dennis Derito saying, and we are live, more about tech. And Kevin Oirimo, we are on. Thank you, guys. We have some technical issues, and I wonder, today is the day we talk about technology, and technology is now proving us wrong, especially Derito, Kevin. Technology is proving you wrong here, and Mov proving Moses right. I don't know. Let's see who will take the the day at the end of this. Kimani, allow me to go back to you.
Yes, Bashir.
As we talk this issue. You have heard what Moses has said, that we are not where we are supposed to be, as in we are just basically copying and pasting. And Kevin, on the other hand, is saying that he's trying to be a little bit optimistic. However, and I want you to break some this tie here. Who do you think is making more sense? And you give us your valid reasons, because from where I sit, I see hope, because we have M-pesa, the likes of M-pesa. I don't know if you can see that is copy and paste. Yesterday, I saw some young Africans who were able to create a robot that can, I don't know, do some things thereabout. But what do you think about that?
Well, like I had earlier mentioned, Washira, I would like to be optimistic. I would like to think that although the pace that Bosses says we are a little bit slow, but we are headed somewhere. Just like the other day, I was reading an article of this guy in Nigeria. So apparently, this guy has developed some sort of neurotechnology. He calls it a core. I'm not sure what that means, but she's actually it's a fusion of live neurons, fused into some silicon chip. I'm sure Kevin understand what that means. So basically, what that device does, it is used to smell explosives and destroy cancer cells. And I don't know, it's new. It has never been used anywhere, and it is made in Africa. And that's just one example. There's this guy in Uganda who is making he's making smart jackets to detect pneumonia in kids, and like the rate of diagnosis of that jacket is approximately 4 times faster than the average doctor. And those are just 2 examples, but I would like to I think that we deserve more credit than being told we are copy pasting. Thank you.
Oh. Okay, Moses, I hope you'll be reacting to that soon. But before you do that, Neo, we are asking ourselves, from your personal opinion, what is the state of the continent in matters technology? What do you think about that, Neo? I'm not sure whether Neo can hear me. I'm trying to get a hold of him, but I hope he'll be back. So, Moses, can you react to what has been said?
Yeah, as I've already highlighted, gentlemen, I have a diploma in electrical engineering. So I currently have my own company which maintains and services steam boilers. These are those machines that are mostly used on power stations to produce electricity and all that. So most of these big companies that specialize in steam turbines and boilers, especially in South Africa, they are based in South Africa, but they are not from South Africa. So this is why we even have, I think you guys are aware of, we have electricity problems in South Africa. And 80% of the electricity problems we are having are caused by steam boilers, the boilers, in fact. So this is why I'm saying that we are not where exactly we want to be. Even myself, the knowledge which I acquired from boilers and what I was taught by white people. So I'm talking about us Africans when it comes to technology. I don't think we are where we need to be. So some of this sensitive tech, some of these sensitive machines that run our country are mostly serviced by, especially in engineering, are mostly serviced by German companies. So we are still lacking the critical expertise when it comes to tech and engineering. So I still maintain that we can be there if perhaps this transfer of knowledge was to be speedily accessible to us. But nevertheless, I think we are taking a very slow pace looking at 2023. Yeah.
Kevin, you're also an IT guy, and you said that we are trying. So, what are the examples that you can give us to really showcase that Africa isn't lagging behind as we might think it is?
Okay, so the first example that is really common is M-pesa. And M-pesa is a very good innovation, and it's very useful actually even in our economy, because it's actually the one that is contributing to Safaricom receiving much profits than previous years. Now I can even send money to my parents back home using M-pesa, rather than in the past where one was supposed to, even if you wanted to send money, you'll either go to deliver it manually, you'll have to travel, for example, from the city back to the village. And other technologies that I think they're making a very big impact too is, like, for example, in Nigeria, there's an innovator who came up with an innovation called Flutterwave. Flutterwave is a similar thing to M-pesa. Also, there's Sendi. Sendi is it's a Kenyan product. Sendi is an application that it makes sure that the logistics parts of any consumer or any retailer is reduced to less than the cost of that commodity that he or she is sending. Yes. And also, I can say, also Kenya are trying to.
Kevin, maybe for the sake of our South African brothers here, maybe who might not understand this concept of M-pesa, please try and explain to us now what is this M-pesa that you're talking about for the purpose of our South African people.
So M-pesa is an online transfer application where one can send money. For example, if it's Ali can send money to Moses, and they're not even in the same location, and Moses will still receive the money, the right amount, without being even interrupted. You can just go to an agent and withdraw the money. So that's what is M-pesa to us, Kenya. I don't know if they in South Africa they have such an innovation.
Ali, do you know about M-pesa in South Africa, or if it is not there? What is the mobile mode of transfer of money in your country?
No, we have M-pesa. It's M-pesa. It's Mukuru. We have them, and we're using them.
That's nice. That's nice. But you do know that M-pesa is an African, sort of invention. Okay. We are trying to get also the comments of Neo. I don't know now if Neo you can be able to go. We are trying to understand from your own point of view what is the state of the continent in terms of technology. Neo, can you go through?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now hear you.
Okay, yeah, I think Africa as a whole has a gradual development when it comes to technology, comparing it with the likes of the European countries and America. If you can check, the majority of the minerals are found in Africa. And as it is, it should be one of the leading continents with technology, as it is the main supplier of the main concepts or resources that build up technology. So it is a very, very a gradual change or development when it comes to technology. Looking at South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique, the technology there is very, very limited compared to other continents. That's my view. And I think it's based on our leaders. It might be tribal leaders or political leaders. So that's my explicit view about technology in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
And
Thank
Africa
you.
in large.
Thank you, Neo, for that. Thank you for your comment. I want to go through some comments that have been sent in live here. I want to begin all the way. I left it at Kevin Wairimu's comment. He said we are on. And you also see Nancy Director saying greatest to man from Toronto and some emojis there. So man from Toronto or from the Toronto, I think that's what she meant. That is for you. We have Mr. President saying, I agree with Moses that we are still far much behind when it comes to technology. Little has been done. For instance, more learning institutions in Africa had to close down during COVID-19 pandemic. And he also says that only a few institutions could continue with the virtual learning. There is more and more we can do as far as technology is concerned. Thank you. Thank you. And he also says we need more innovation, especially research centers need to focus on exploring the technology space. I can see also Simon Kefani. Hi, guys. Hi, back to you. I am proud of you, how you discuss technology. As said, we should come up with our own technology, not copy and paste from the wild. Mr. President also saying, Washira, personally as Rafael, I'm working on improving the state of education and communication in Kenya, and I hope it will exert change in the nation. I'm excited about the ideas shared here. Thank you. You also have Kevin Oirimo. The mega investment as Mwale City in Western Kenya is a significant mark and indicator that Africa is making milestone progress in the tech space. The Konza Tech City is another magnificent project. Oh, wonderful comments coming in early. We really do appreciate these guys sending in their comments. I don't know if you guys know about what Kevin Wairimu is talking about. We have Mwale City in Western Kenya, and if you don't know about it, go and look for it on YouTube. You will find this wonderful guy who came and started this Mwale City, and he's doing a lot. I also have Konza Tech City, which is another magnificent project happening here in Kenya. So for people who do not know about that, they can go and check it up in the net. Moses, because you've said we are not where we are supposed to be, why do you think that is the case? Why do you think we are where you say we are?
I think I also highlighted that I think the major problem is the setup of our educational system. But to also add to that, I think most of the brilliant ideas in throughout civilization came from young people. But in Africa, young people are not getting the political support they need to make these ideas manifest. I think I once saw this story in Rwanda of young people who are producing bricks from plastic. They take plastic, they recycle it and produce bricks. So I think there are a lot of young people who have these brilliant ideas and they lack funding, they lack the proper support so that they can bring about these ideas. So I think probably I will have to agree with Neo on some of the aspect of our technology being behind, because some of the support that is needed to manifest these ideas must come from our leaders, which most of our leaders are old people. In terms of innovation, if let's say I was to submit a proposal to our political leaders saying that I want to manufacture my own car, so most of them will see it as something which is not foreseeable. I'm not criticizing anyone. I'm just saying that most of these far-fetched ideas come from young people, and when young people try to tap the market for resources and the finances to bring about these ideas, they are not really getting the support, as opposed to America. In America, these stories of a 13-year-old producing these magnificent ideas is just a norm in America and Europe, of young people producing life-saving ideas. I also once had this other story of a young person producing fertilization from recycled material. So these ideas that come from young people are not really supported in our African continent. So I think if we can work on that and we work on our ideas, we can actually bring something that has never been seen before and that can stand out in our continent.
Yeah. Wonderful to hear that. Kimani, you're getting to hear here from our brothers from South Africa. They are alluding that, we are here where we are as a continent, lagging behind in matters technology, because some of the reasons behind that is political. Now here in Kenya, Kimani, what do you think are the reasons that might be also making this become what it is?
Thank you, Ashira. I would have to agree with Moses on this one. Some of the reasons that are making us lag behind in technology. Structures are not they're not equipped to boost innovation. They're not equipped to bring out the best in our children. The other day I was seeing some interview with Elon Musk, and I have to apologize for making a lot of references from them, but we have to give it to him. That guy is a tech giant. And on a side note, I'd like to point out to Moses that he's actually from South Africa, but I digress. He was saying that like the problem with the most political governments and institutions, Africa included, is that world-class minds are being used to try and make more people click on ads. That most world-class minds are trying to make people buy things from the internet, and they're not at all involved in trying to innovate things, to come up with new ways of doing things, and that's actually a problem. And if our education sector are not thinking about that, then that will be the case for quite a long time. I would say political influences have had something to do with the decline of innovation and technology in Africa, and that's probably something that African leaders should consider, correcting.
Okay. Kimani, when you say that Elon Musk is a tech giant, and I'm seeing Kevin Dirito is here, and he's supposed to be our foreseeable future tech giant.
Yeah.
So there is hope, man. There is hope. I also heard Moses this some stuff on in matters that tech. So, however, Kevin also, is there any other reason that is not political that you think that is making Africa to lag behind in technology?
Yes, I can say, like, apart from the government is the one that is playing a big role in not supporting tech and not supporting innovation, because like in some areas, for someone to be able to have that conducive environment to come up with an idea and innovate it, you must have resources like electricity. And you see some of like, let's say, let me give an example with Kenya. Not every part in Kenya is receiving electricity, and the same problems we face here in Kenya are the same problems that other countries in Africa are facing. So that's the main thing that I can say that's really affecting technology and innovation is resources. Like that one, electricity first is the big and it's the wide one that's highly affecting us.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin, for that. Neo, you have heard about Kevin saying that there is no electricity in some parts of Kenya. And I do understand that there in South Africa, you have this thing called load shedding. This is a foreign concept to us. I keep calling Ali, he's telling me, we have load shedding here. And I'm wondering, what is this? So can you tell us what this load shedding is and how is it affecting, matters technology in your country?
Load shedding is just a minor turn off or shutdown of electricity in South Africa. Some parts of South Africa, maybe Limpopo at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. or Gauteng at a certain time of the day. So it's a hindrance to our people, honestly, to our development, to our technology, to our social lives, because you cannot work without electricity or lights out. For instance, there was this trending post on social media where a businessman who's in farming was filing for a lawsuit to the government for his farmer. He lost close to 46,000 chickens because of load shedding. So it's a huge hindrance in South Africa for our development. If technology relies more on electricity, so if we don't have electricity, it means we won't have robots, we won't have master classes or those kind of things that will lead us forward.
But Moses, you have said you studied something. Is there no alternative sources of power? I understand Africans are bright people, and you're saying we don't have technology, and people have discovered these things. Is there no alternative source of power for South Africans, Moses?
I think the route we are trying to take, especially on renewable energy, will come a long way. I think we are already at that level to explore solar plants and wind and water, and in fact use whatever revenue we can use in terms of renewable. I think going the renewable way, it's going to help us a lot. If every household, we are already going there, where every household must have a solar generation in their home. So I think that will help a long way. Yes.
Yeah, Ali, can you hear me now? Can you be able to react? Ali.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and
you were telling me about
loud and clear. The technology is playing on me.
Yeah, you were telling me the other day how load shedding has affected you, and you tried to use some alternative source of power, and it never went well for you. Are you thinking now, as an African, and also because you're talking about technology, what is the alternative source of power that you're thinking to use? Because now, if load shedding, your government is not going to work on it, you're not going to live in darkness. Ali?
That's the challenge, buddy. I ended up buying. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me. I ended up buying a generator that I was using, so that I can be able. Yeah, so that I can be able to go online, and it ended up so bad to a point where the computer screen has exploded when I was using the generator. Informed that I need to buy certain things. So imagine when the computer box bent down, the screen bent down in the house. I lost a couple of items. So I think it's also costing us a lot when one says you must use generator because you can save a lot. But either way, I bought a new generator, very big. Somebody assisted me in terms of the installation. I'm good to, but still, even if I have power in the house, the towers of internet are affected. So made an application for a satellite internet permanently, so that I can move to a satellite internet. I'm not rely to the state because affected. We are running businesses where we buy fuel. Affects a lot of things. Some of the restaurants that we are operating, they have internet. Most customers, they prefer to come there during load shedding because there is power. They want to do assignments, and when they come there, they the network is down. They just no, we're leaving. We can't be here where there's no Wi-Fi. So it's affecting a lot of business. And so to say, I can tell you that the likes of South Africa and Kenya and I mean these two countries are contributing a lot in technology. South Africa is doing a lot. Looking at the hub that they actually built during the time of COVID-19 that was going to produce the vaccines. You can see that the state of technology this is going high. But the thing is that in the villages is a problem. Like myself, who I am now, I'm in a village. The network is a problem. In order for you to have a network, you need to move to certain places. I don't know about where Moses and Neo they are, but I can tell you, it's a problem, my man. If you don't have money in your pocket to access technology, it's a problem. Getting a smartphone is very much expensive. Subsidize people to get smartphone. So for me, technology it's like a it's pop. So it's something that I eat now and then. Without technology, I'm going to die.
You're going to die early because
Internet is something that I need now and then.
Your ancestors never died; they lived without without internet. So don't say you're going to die. Kimani, can you advise Ali here? You know, Ali is saying he's going to die, and we were talking with you just the other day. We were talking about biogas. Maybe you can tell Ali about biogas, and this is in the village. And I'm sure there is plenty of biogas in the village. What can you say about that, Kimani?
Yeah, of course, I'll have to laugh at Ali when he says that without technology is going to die. And I don't know, Ali. I don't know. To answer that question, we must first, go to the bedrock of the definition of technology. If you ask me, I'll tell you technology is really relative on two factors. There is time and there is usage. When it comes to time, it is more of when it was invented and is it relevant to that time. When it comes to usage, is it doing things in a better way? And if it is not, then it becomes obsolete. And I agree that the powering of technology, in terms of electricity, is quite a fact. But technology in itself should also try to change that. And by changing that, I'm talking about renewable sources. That's where the biogas you're talking about comes in. There is solar energy. I saw the other day this guy, Elon Musk, again, I have to mention him. He's running a company that is making solar roofs, like a complete roof, normal roof. It can block rain and everything that a technical roof can do. At the same time, it is managing to generate about 31.7 kilowatts of 31,700 kilowatts hour of electricity per year. That is around 100 Kenyan units of electricity every day. So if electricity powered to the villages cannot actually get to those places, there are alternative sources. There is wind energy, there is solar energy, and of course there is biogas, which once it is biogas, it can be used to do a lot of things, lighting and electricity and other things. So Ali, you should really try to get yourself a solar energy, a solar system. It will be much better than the generator, and perhaps you could save yourself the damages in the future.
Thank you, Kimani. It's good that you have highlighted there. When some in this sense, in this episode, when you say technology, we mean modern technology. The technology of the 21st century, because it will be ignorant of us to say what I just said. That's why I want to retract that statement. That the African forefathers did not have technology; they did have their own form of technology. So I really want to make it clear that I meant the modern technology. Kevin Derito, you are in the IT world, you are in the world of coding and all that. You want to tell me there is nothing that is coming out of Africa, and is there is there hope in terms of, especially in your world, is there hope that might maybe bring technology to what it's supposed to be in Africa?
Yes, on my end, I'm optimistic that Africa at a time will be as sparse as other continents. Let's say the Europe. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, as I was saying, I'm optimistic that Africa as a continent, there will be a time that will be as far with other continents, like let's say the Europe, because we are really absorbing this new thing called the technology really quick. It's only that you are lacking the resources and maybe the finance to. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. Okay. I think we have lost Kevin there. Moses and Neo, let me go back to Neo, because you have been saying that there's a lot of you guys have been negative today with the technology. So I want to understand from your perspective, moving forward, what should we do? And what are you doing specifically as an individual? Because I'm a person who believes change begins with an individual. What are you doing, and what should be done in Africa, not only in South Africa, but in the entire continent, to change the status quo of technology? Neo? Neo, you are muted. Neo,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can you hear? Okay, convener. Let me first direct this conversation to our education system. First thing first, if you can check our education system and compare it to the European education system and the American education system, you can see that we are 3 steps behind the Europeans and the Americans. First thing first, the education system structures us to think in a way that can actually benefit the society through safety, military, technology, ITs, and engineering. For instance, look at what India did. India invested much of its money into educating its citizens through technology. Right now, India is very, very far when it comes to technology. So I think we should start building from building our citizens from a young age through technology. Let's invest more on technological learnings like smart boards and everything in other countries that they do not have such things. Give more to engineering to young kids. Growing up knowing how to be able to build a certain thing grooms a kid to actually start thinking outside the box that this thing has a certain fault. If I change it to be this way, it can actually benefit the upcoming generations in a good way. And again, let's try to invest more on politicians or leaders who have something that they've built or accumulated. Not just politicians who just want to speak, but politicians who have a certain thing that they say, oh, I've started this thing, I've crafted a certain business or a company prior to this and that from a scratch. That way we can know that there will be innovation coming through that person as an individual.
Now, Neo, there's a part of my question you are trying to run away from. You have answered what we should do as a continent,
okay,
and also and as a people. But now you, in your individual capacity, what are you doing, or what do you want to do?
Or in my individual capacity. Oh, I'm in Moses' movement. I'm currently a political and social activist, trying to actually formulate certain policies in the country. For instance, we have a policy which we are trying to formulate where we'll have our high school learners having much more information or much more in hand when it comes to technology, like smart boards learning, online learning, and everything. More especially, I think Ali can back me up on this one. In our villages or in our province, we don't have so much technological stuff. So our children are boxed to think with whatever they have. So we want to have private investors and the political or government to invest much more into engaging our learners or our children with technology. So it's our policy which is underway.
That's nice. That's wonderful to hear. At least there's something you're also doing in a personal capacity that at the end of the day, the generations that will come will benefit from it.
Convener.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Neil.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. You are.
Okay, I'll conclude it in that way. I think Moses will add where he wants to add.
Moses, you have been in the chances are you add where you want to add, but as you are adding where you want to add, you also answer that question. What do you think should be done or ought to be done not only by the government, but also by the people of Africa, the South Africans from your end, and also what are you doing in a personal capacity as Moses to see that the technology of Africa is becoming better? Moses, I don't know if you can hear me.
I don't know if the network is bad on my side, or can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello?
Moses, we can hear you.
Yes,
Go
we
ahead.
can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, as he sorts that out, Kimani, I know
Yes,
you
Washira.
remember my question.
I
Respond,
remember.
please.
Thank you, Washira. In what can be done to improve from where we are to a
Yeah,
better
and
place?
Kimani, also apart from what Elon Musk is doing, I know you're going to
Yes.
mention him again.
But
So
that's a lot.
tell us what can be done.
What am I doing?
Mm, mm.
Yeah, I get you. Can you hear me? Yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I think that the first thing that we need to do is I'll begin with as a country, and maybe perhaps that can be extended to maybe as a nation, as a continent as a whole. The first thing that we need to do is that we need to adopt a culture of innovation, and to do that, we need to expose our kids to technology, because I tend to believe that the only way of learning is through exposure. You have to be exposed to something. You can get an idea from that. You can work on that idea, and in the end, you would have learned about something. So yeah, we will have to revolutionize our education systems to include more technology-related subjects. I think I would like to comment on what Kenya is doing with its CBC. It's not the best, but it's something. It's better than the previous education system. At least the kids are exposed a little bit more to technology, and it's in so doing that we can manage to instill a culture of innovation in these kids. Also, another thing that we could do is, and don't get this wrong, I think we could borrow from what the Western world is doing, not in terms of the inventions, but in terms of what they have done to get where they have gone. We're not borrowing the product, we are borrowing the journey to the product. So if there are steps that are verifiable steps that they are followed to get where they are, I think we can get those steps, inculcate them in the education system, and we can get there. Also, besides what Elon Musk is doing as a person, maybe perhaps what I could do, or rather what we could do.
Yeah,
Um,
apart from following Elon Musk, that does not
yes.
count. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I could maybe perhaps point to this discussion, all what we're doing right here. I believe that is a positive contribution to technology. But also I'm going to suggest a very rational idea, and I'm going to say that if you can be a tech giant, then please be. The likes of Kelvin. Yeah, Kelvin, I had Washira saying you'll be the next tech giant. Please do everything that you can to get there, because in so doing you'll be motivating a generation of young guys to get into technology, and that gives from very individual ideas, such as familiarizing yourself with technology. Just get there and know how it's done. Maybe in a way or two, you'll know how to improve it and do something better. And of course, the other thing that we can do is, trying to bring as many people as possible into this. Yeah, the more we exchange ideas, the more we can, develop a solution. So yeah, at an individual capacity, I can try to bring as many people as possible into the technology world. Speak to that adjacent person when you're in public transport. Try to educate them a little bit about Bitcoin or the next technology. Try to bring them on board, and maybe perhaps we could, in the end, instill a culture of doing things in a different way, but now within a technological setup, which ideally results in innovation. Thank you, Ashera.
Thank you, Kimani. Kevin, I hope you'll prove me right, Bana. Now, tell us also, what do you think should be done? And what are you doing also in your own personal capacity?
So on my what I think should be done is, for the education system in Kenya, actually the curriculum should be changed so that we are using the education system is placed in a way that the technology that is being used currently actually is not taught in school. People have to research, you have to learn through YouTube, you have to enroll in courses online so that you can be as far with the current technology. So the education system is the first thing that should be changed in order for us to compete with other tech world countries. And on my end, what I'm doing to make sure that I become that tech giant Mr. Washira is saying, actually, I'm in a group of people where we share ideas and come up with solutions to problems that we are facing in the community. I'm also in another group where we have children, where we mentor them, we teach them the skills so that they can be conversant with the tech. So that when the time comes for them to, when they realize this is what I want to venture in, I want to venture into technology. Technologies, the tech world is very wide. It has many branches. You can use technology for example, in agriculture. You can use it in industry, in the industrial sectors. You can use it in transportation and logistics. So it's just, you have to mentor the child as from when he or she is young, so that when he or she grows up, he knows what he or she wants and to do with that technology that he has, or that's the skills and knowledge that he has.
Thank you, Kevin. And because I can see, guys, that we are running out of time, I would like to give Kimani this chance to give your final comments, and then we give it to Kevin so that we can wrap up the show. Kimani, what are your final comments?
Thank you, Ashira. My final comments will revolve around answering 3 basic questions that surround technology. The first question is, are we really going the right direction? And my answer to that would be possibly. The advancements that are currently there tend to point that we are headed in that direction. But compared to other nations such as the US and all those tech companies in the US, such as Tesla, of course other countries such as China, which are exploring wonderful ideas such as space mining, and of course the most recent one, though a little bit bringing some medical conundrum, the creation of an artificial womb in China. And of course, there is the technology of ChatGPT. When you compare Africa with such huge technologies, it might be difficult to to see as if we are doing something. But since we are making progress, yes, we are going the right direction. But it's really a question of how fast. The next question that we could ask ourselves is: are we doing enough? And I don't think we are. There is need to include technology in more things that we participation. We need to incorporate technology in industries, farming, construction, such as 3D printing and other things. In the healthcare sector, such as these things called EHRs. They are very common in the US, electronic health records. It's a system whereby every patient can be linked into some national grid where the patient data can be accessed from any other institution with access to internet connection. That would mean that you don't have to carry around a card every time you go into a health institution. So are we doing enough? We are not. We need to incorporate more of these in each and every sector that revolve around our technology and economy. The last question that we should ask ourselves is do we have enough interest in doing this? Are our teenagers and the youth showing enough interest to do this? And I think that we are not. Most likely we are not. But I think that we should really try to bring on a culture of creating things from a new perspective and not adopting from the Western nations. We have still a long way to go before we can instill a culture of innovation. And if we manage to do that, maybe perhaps, just maybe perhaps in the near future, we could have this discussion where we could point back and say, we are really some few huge steps from where we were in the past. Thank you, Ashira.
Thank you, Kimani. I can see Moses and Neo back. Moses, there was a question you were trying to answer before you lost connection. Can you go ahead and answer the question? The question was, what do you think can be done and what you are doing also in a personal capacity to enhance the status of technology in your country and in Africa in general?
It's my audio clear now?
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think COVID-19 really exposed us, especially in South Africa, mostly the rural areas. Because of the lockdown, learners were unable to receive education. So as Neo has highlighted, that we already form part of a movement called Woke. So Woke, it's a movement that tackles some of the social injustices within our community. So after the lockdown, we saw a gap of wanting to introduce online learning in most of our rural primary schools and high schools. But there is still, as I've already highlighted, that there is still a resistance, because once people are used to a certain normality, once people are used to contact lessons, and you are coming and trying to introduce the concept, they see as far-fetched. So what we are already trying to do as the movement is to say that teachers, we must move away from giving contact lesson and to give more online. A student must be able to write their matric from the comfort of their home if they like. So they should be able to get the accessibility of that education from anywhere. We shouldn't go to a certain institution to receive education. That is where we are still lacking, especially in Africa. So it is required to go to a classroom in order to receive basic education. So COVID-19 really exposed us. Learners were weeks without receiving any kind of education. So what our movement is trying to do is to get these local high schools to move away from contact, especially 40% of their lessons must be through online learning. So that's something we are trying to do on our personal capacity as a movement, but there is still a lot of resistance in that regard. So I also think that we have to push innovation. Let's get millennials involved in the economy. Let's get millennials involved in government leadership and everything, because the innovation ideas are bestowed on young people, are within young people. As long as we don't have this kind of young people in certain critical positions of power, it doesn't help. That's why I'm saying that you bring this concept, there's a lot of resistance. So it doesn't help as long as we are not having young people in critical positions of power. So let's get more young people involved in government structures.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you. Neo, what are your final comments? I can see you've lost him. You've lost Neo. Kevin, what are your final comments as we wrap up the show?
I can finalize by saying that we still have to, in Africa as a continent, we have to realize the potential we have to become more innovative. And by providing an innovation it's not only that you must have the programming part of it. You can have an idea, share it with someone who knows how to do it. He or she can implement it. So you'll be also becoming an innovator in tech. And the other thing I can say, as a continent also, we need to appreciate the technology we need to appreciate the technology that we have currently. As much as it is bringing negativity and it has the positive part of it, we also need to appreciate it and see the good side of it rather than seeing the bad side.
Thank you, Kevin. Moses, what are your final comments as we wrap up the show?
Yeah, I think I have so much belief in us, especially young Africans. I think in the next coming 5 years, or in fact 3 years, we'll be having a different conversations. So I think let's try and advocate for technology and development. I think it's who the IT guy, I forgot the name, was talking about coding and all that. All these concepts of coding and IT, we must incorporate them as early as in the primary level of our schools and everything. So let's get these young ones involved in the technology and the IT. 5 years from now, I think we'll be way further than we are right now.
Thank you, Moses. I can also see a comment from Mike Mudomi saying, Kimani with great points. Kimani, that was your comment from Mudomi. And I want to appreciate you guys in a very special manner for coming to the show here in African Kona, sharing your comments, sharing your thoughts on matters Africa and tech. And I hope that when you guys now become the tech giants that you ought to be, maybe you'll come back to African Corner and say that Wachira predicted right. Hopefully. I also want to thank everybody who sent in their comments, everybody, who shared the broadcast, everybody, who even just watched us. We really do appreciate you. Continue sending in your comments. The show is still up on YouTube. Continue sharing, continue commenting, and also don't forget to subscribe. I see that we need to extend this discussion on a later date, and I hope that when I call these guys back here, they will honor that. However, tonight it's a wrap. Mr. President, it was an amazing show, as you said there. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for turning up. Thank you, everybody. I want to wish everyone a wonderful week ahead. You enjoy and stay tuned for African Corner. Stay tuned also for State of the Continent. That will be coming up very, very soon. My name is Motazi Washira Nyagamojiro Abaria Karigi. Thayo.
So join us every single Sunday from 8 to 9 p.m. as we give you a chance to pride as an African.